In the last class, you have learned about a couple of things. Is object class you have learned. You have learned about object class, and when you are learning the object class, then the learning point was for you is that object class is a super class for all the class, and every class will have and object class get class name. We can get object. I mean every class object and all, and this is the architecture and all. Even the subclasses are there, any other objects are there. So it is going to be uh, by default at the top of all the objects, object class is equal to super class. And you also learn about different methods you have learned.
Hello.
But yeah, are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you also learn about a couple of methods. Okay, and the get class method in object class, it is all the methods is there. Get class is going to help us. What is the class name of the object? Okay, hash code is going to give the object class object hash code, and equal method is going to helps us to compare two equal. Is going to help us to compare two objects, and then the clone object is going to return the copy of one object. And a string object is going to toString method is going to help us to return string object name and all. And notify is there, notify all is there, void is there. Those things notify all, wait. Those wait and wait methods you are going to learn in the when you are learning threads concept. And one more thing is a finalize method. Finalize method is going to help us when you are learning about the threads classes. This is going to help us. And finalize method is invoked by the garbage collector before object is being garbage collected. And garbage collector in the sense, let me give some concepts about garbage collector. What is garbage collector? Why we are talking about garbage collector? Garbage collectors, why it's dollar. You know what is garbage, right? Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You know why?
Waste
What is
product.
garbage, right? Yeah, waste of something is called as garbage. Sir, how come it is? How come those words is coming to the here? Here also in Java, you are creating number of objects, and sometimes we are not going to use that objects. Those objects are eligible for the garbage collection. Those objects are eligible for the garbage collection. So, and sir, what are the objects are eligible for the garbage collection? If any object references are not being used for the quite long time, then that object is eligible for the garbage collection. Okay, sir, why do I need to remove the garbage removing and all? I have told you that all objects are going to store in the heap memory. If I am creating a number of objects and if I am not using those objects, if I am not cleaning up those objects, my memory is going to get filled up. Isn't it or not?
Yes.
That is the reason if any object is not being for the particular amount of time, they do set some of the time. If that object is not being for the some time, then they are going to be make it as a then they are make it then that object they'll make it as a garbage collection removable. Those objects they'll make it as a those objects they'll make it as a eligible for the garbage collection. Okay, before calling of the garbage collection, at that time this method is going to be called. Finalize method is going to be get called. And next today you are going to learn about arrays. Okay, and when you are learning about starting, sorry,
యాక్సెస్ మాడిఫైర్స్ అది యాక్సెస్ మాడిఫైర్స్ ఒకటిగా చెప్పారు మిగతా మళ్ళీ చెప్తా అన్నారు
yeah, I'll
తర్వాత
cover this wrapper classes, right? Yeah, wrapper
యాక్సెస్
class.
మాడిఫైర్స్ పబ్లిక్ అంటే ఏంది ప్రైవేట్ అంటే ఏంది
Yeah, I'll
డిఫాల్ట్
tell
అంటే
you that.
ఏంది
Yeah. I did
తర్వాత
notice.
మళ్ళీ ఇన్స్టాన్స్ ఇనిషియలైజర్ కూడా తర్వాత చెప్తా అన్నారు
Yeah. I make a note. I did make a note of that. Okay. When the situation comes, I will be using that. Okay. Let's make a note of in front of both of us. So that I'll ensure that is going to be covered. One sec. I'll write it here. Your notes is there, right? Uh,
Access modifiers.
Actually, access modifiers protected I wantedly stopped because this access modifier is going to help us when you are going protected is going to help us when it is going to helpful for the subclass sub packages and all. That is the reason I extended it.
Okay.
And the wrapper class, why I wanted to skip it, I wanted to tell about after arrays and all. Sequence need to get followed. Okay, 4 items. Huh? This is better. We'll recap about. Some topics need to explain. After that, we wanted to go back and explain the topics so that it will understand clearly. Okay. Now arrays. Okay. Before going to the arrays, we know that we have primitive data types. Okay. Primitive data types. We have some other primitive data types. Those are primitive data types. What are the primitive data types? Integer, float, double, all the things is comes under. Okay, all the things is comes under integer. I mean, like those things is going to come under. Where is the data type? Just okay. These guys are going to come as a primitive data types. Okay. Suppose you are not come. Suppose you have in your class 50 students. I wanted to store 50 students information in the computer. I wanted to store 50 students information in the computer. Then normally if I wanted to store a student information, I am going to write it like this. Student number, I am going to write like this. I'll make it as a student number, student number, student, student number, student number, student name. Okay, like this I am going to make it. And some other variables is there I am going to define. Okay, and suppose if it is one student, I can make it as a student number one and student number one and all. Suppose in our class we have 50 students. For the 50 students, I cannot write like this na student number one, like this. I cannot go and create for the each student. Okay, for the each and student, I cannot create like this student number one, student number two, like this. Thinking that for the student number one details I can keep here and student number two details I can keep here like this. I cannot think like this, na? Isn't it?
Yeah.
I cannot keep like this. If a student number three is there, sir, okay, 50 students here, right? You can suppose if you see Facebook has crores of login IDs. If I am creating like this crores of variables, I'm done. My whole job, one day job is going to work on only writing the variables. So this is very difficult to maintain. That time, what they have come, they have created some of the arrays. Array concept has come. Okay, array is going to be like this. Array is going to be like this, like this. Group of elements they are going to be assigned. Group of memory location is going to be alone. It's going to be assigned. Suppose if you declare area of 10, they are going to start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 like this they are going to define. 0 is going to be act as an index and 1 is going to act as a other mode index. The first 0 is going to be help us to access this memory location and the second index is going to help us to access the second memory location. Like that, third is going to be help us to is going to be access third location like this. It is a collection of similar data types. Array is nothing but it is a collection of similar data type. We can fetch and we can give the values based on index value. We can fetch and give the values to the array based on index value. How to define a variable. If you wanted to define a variable, you need to write like this. Int x of 10. Int, like this, we are going to be define it. Let's see how we are going to write it. Okay, we are going to define arrays like this. This is one way of creating array, and one more way is okay. When you are declaring arrays, we are going to define like this. If you wanted to initialize the any value, the syntax of assigning an array is syntax of arrays creation. Syntax of array creation is that like this we are going to be define. When you define like this, it is going to define a variable array with 10 different memory allocations. Like this, when I made it as x of 10, so that time it is going to create memory locations like this. Area, I mean, like 0 to 9 memory location is going to access, and the first location is going to first instance like this. Okay, the syntax of array is okay, data type, data type, comma, array name of index. Data type, array name of index. Okay, like this I am going to access it, and I do created one array. I do created one array. I do created one array. If I wanted to access fifth element, I have to give array of four like this. Array of four. If I wanted to access fifth element, I had to give array of four because it starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and all fifth. So like this, we are going to give it to the syntax of this array name of index, array name of index. So now you learned about 2 points. One is how to declare array. Array declaration is
Okay.
array and array name and of index size. We have to mention size, how much size and all. Okay, and how to access is that we are going to give what you call
Array
array
name.
name of index value and all, and how to define arrays in the different styles. Okay, one different style is you can say that suppose int x of 5 like this you can define, and in the same way you can also define like this 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. You can also define like
These
this.
are the values.
Yeah, you can also define like this. Okay, after that if you wanted to change some values you can also change like this. Like this you can access. Okay, let's see how we can write that and all. Let's see how we can write that and all. Here one array is there. Index int of a of brackets, and we are given one value. Now I wanted to know the size of array, so that is the reason. This I am taking as a name array, array name, and length. And one more is I wanted to access the first element, so I mentioned as the array of 0. So I wanted to access the second number. I wanted to access second number. Second number means 0,
30.
2, sorry, 0,
1,
1,
2.
2. So in the same way, I do know the length of that. I am trying to print out all the values. Print all the values. This I will explain little later. This concept now only I will explain, but little later. All the recap items I'll keep on place so that I will not miss out. Okay, now let me compile this array program. JavaScript array. So the first place is array size is 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got displayed size 5, and we are trying to give a 0 array of 0. Array of 0, what is that? It is trying to print it 5. So we got printed a 5. And array of 2 is 0, 1, 2,
1, 2.
30. It got printed. And I am trying to print out all the values. So that is the reason it got printed from 5 to 5 to 10, all the values. It has been printed out. Okay. And like this, we can capture all the values and we can define the values and all. Okay. Now, so we learned about that. We have learned that concept. Next, sir, it is fine. It is fine. And the same way, we can define different areas. Float areas you can create. Float also you can define. So, like this, whatever you have agent, you can get the values and all. You can retrieve and you can get the values and all. Okay, and we can also okay. Now we have here something here. We have something string arrays and all. String arrays and all. It is a string array. This is string array. Now we can also pass some values to the string array from command line argument. How to send and all we are learning now. Command line arguments. Command line arguments. Whatever you are passing, that you can get it here. This is command line argument. This is your JavaC argument Java. Let's see how it works after. Let me compile this. After that, I will explain how it works. Okay. Now, what is happening here? This is here. Okay. This so far you learned. You know this all the things, right? This is and all you know this. Okay. Only one thing you are learning about this 2 point. This this set, and if those values you are pitching out, you are putting the values, you are reading the values from command line. Command line, how to read them from the command line. So sometimes for this program you may need to give inputs from the command line. That is what you are doing here. You are compiled here. After that, what you are doing, Java array class name you are giving, and 10 and 20 are 10 and 12 you are passing that. The first parameter is going to store, this first 10 parameter is going to store in the array string array argument. Second first parameter is going to store in the string array argument of 0. That argument, that array, it is going to store 10 value. And second element is going to store arg of 1. That location is going to store. Like that, all the values are being in assigned and called and got printed out on the screen. So sometimes we may need the values from the command line parameters, or else sometimes you need to pass the values from one class file to other class. That time the string arguments is going to help us. Okay, now you understood, right? This array argument, from this array argument we are reading these values. Okay, a zero means whatever use it. Yes. Okay. One of the use that, suppose I wanted to give a number to the program. Basically, what is the use of that program? This is when you are running some program and you wanted to give the values during runtime. So through this also you can pass the values to the program. Okay, now let me tell you that you wanted to calculate sum of the given number. Sorry, multiplication of the given number. Multiplication of the given number. That is your program. The given program means that program is going to come during the execution. I mean that program is need to be get run, and during the program is going to ask you, give me some number like this, and there you are going to give some number. That is your task. So that time we can make like this. I don't want to read second parameter. That is the reason I am marking. Now I am making read of that. When I read this value from the command line argument, the 10 value is going to store as a string. The string, a string, he doesn't know that that is one data type. I'll tell you that future string is nothing but a combination of group of letters. Okay, and this is called string. This is called string. Group of things is kept in the double quotation is called string. Whether it is a number or something, also if you kept some details in the double quotation, that is going to be string. Okay, I mean I'm not I cannot say that double quotation is going to be there and all, but if you keep technically, logically, if something is there in double quotation, that is going to be string. In Java, okay, double quotations like this group of characters is going to call as a string. So now this, even though you have given number also, okay, that number is going to store as a string format. So that is the reason we are converting that string into integer. Okay, this program, Java hyphen some with that value, you are going to read this. I mean, like anyway, Java C level. Here you are going to make it as a Java array of 10 like this. You are going to give the 10 value is going to be read by program. 10 value is going to be read by the program. The program, once you read the value, you wanted to do multiplication of that argument. That is your program. So to achieve that, I am doing this. So here is this array argument, and this is small example for you. Sometimes one program output you need to give as an input for other program. That time this guy is going to help us also. Okay. For the time being, I cannot show you that one program input to other program handle. For the sake of now, you can see that suppose you are reading some value from the keyboard, you need to do multiplication or addition or something. That time, this concept is going to help us. So I am okay. I need to give some value, and this need to be get read. So now I am doing it integer dot parse it. I am doing this is one class. Integer is one class. Yesterday I have covered the word integer, right? Okay, integer has this is wrapper class dot parse int, that is having one method. There I am passing the string argument. Okay, whatever I pass that argument, that is going to be string argument is going to convert as a integer. I got the integer. Are you with me?
Hmm.
I got the integer. The integer I did is a square. I mean, like you are given 10 into 10, you are doing it. The square of the 10, you are doing it. Okay, now let me compile this program, how it is going to help us. So I am making these are all not required, so I am making as a anyway you already saw that program output and all, so I am making not required part. If I wanted to comment, I had to comment like this. I made a comment here. So area of 0 is there. So let me compile this program. Okay, Java C, I need to compile it. Java C array dot Java. I am compiling this program. I am compiling program. I did compile. Okay, let me run this program. Array and class name I have to give. I have given and 10. What is 10 into 10? How much? హలో కట్టాలి కాబట్టి ఓకే I'm giving some value. So I have given a 10 value. I wanted to do multiplication of 10. So I have given as a 10 into 10. Okay, 10 into 10 and all. I'm giving a 20. So I'm giving as a 10 into 20. Like this, whatever you have given value, that guy is going to do multiplication of that value.
అన్న ఈ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ వాల్యూను మనం ఇంటీజర్ ఎరేలో స్టోర్ చేసే వాల్యూ ఈ రెండు సేమ్ అయితే ఏం కాదు కదా. ఇప్పుడు ఇంటి ఆఫ్ 5 10 30 ఇచ్చాం కదా, ఇంటి ఆఫ్ 0లో 5 స్టోర్ అయింది, ఇంటి ఆఫ్ 1లో 10 స్టోర్ అయింది కదా.
ఏలో స్టోర్ అవట్లేదు, ఆర్గ్లో స్టోర్ అవుతుంది ఇది.
అదే ఆర్గ్లో స్టోర్ అవుతుంది, అది ఇది డిఫరెంట్ కదా, ఎరేలోకి అయితే సంబంధించింది ఏం కాదు కదా.
అది ఇది నాకు అర్థం కదా.
సేమ్ అది ఇది సేమ్ కాదు కదా, డిఫరెంట్ కదా. ఇది ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ లో స్టోర్ అవ్వడానికి, ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ నుంచి వాల్యూ ఇచ్చుకోవడానికి ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్
కమాండ్ లైన్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ కింద ఉపయోగపడతాయి ఇది. అదేమన్నా ఎరే లోపల అంటే ప్రోగ్రామ్ స్టార్ట్ అయిన తర్వాత ఇనిషియలైజ్ వాటికి ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. కమాండ్ లైన్ అంటే ఇది ఇలాంటి కమాండ్ లైన్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్స్ అనమాట. అంటే ఎక్స్టర్నల్ గా బయట సైడ్ నుంచి ఇన్పుట్ వైల్ రన్నింగ్ ద ప్రోగ్రామ్ యూ కెన్ గివ్ ఇన్పుట్స్, బట్ ఎర్రే యూ కెనాట్ డూ లైక్ దట్. వీ వోంట్ డూ లైక్ దట్. We can do, but practically we will not do like this. But in this case, హలో
హలో
అదేనమాట, ఇది కమాండ్ లైన్ నుంచి మనము పంపిస్తాం అనమాట. కమాండ్ లైన్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ అనమాట. హలో
హలో
యా, దిస్ ఇస్ కమాండ్ లైన్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్. మనము బయట సైడ్ నుంచి సమ్ వాల్యూస్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు సెండ్ ఇట్. ఈ డౌట్ ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ చెప్తావు నాకు?
అర్థమైందన్న. అదే ఇప్పుడు ఎరేలో మామూలుగా ఇక్కడ ఇంటీజర్ అని ఒక ఎరే ఇచ్చేసేసి ఈ వాల్యూస్ ఇచ్చాం కదా,
అది ఓకే.
ఏఎఫ్ 0లో 5 స్టోర్ అయితే ఏఎఫ్ 1లో 10, ఈ ఎరేలో ఈ కొన్ని స్టోర్ అయితే. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఇక్కడ ఆర్గ్స్ అని రాసి ఇచ్చేది ఈ ఎరేలో అయితే ఏం రీప్లేస్ అవ్వో అది కమాండ్ లైన్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ లో రన్ చేయడానికి యూజ్ చేస్తామని.
అదే, ఎస్, వెరీ గుడ్. కమాండ్ లైన్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ అనమాట. అదైతే ప్రోగ్రామ్ స్టార్ట్ అయింది. హలో ఉన్నావా? ఓకే ఓకే, యాక్చువల్లీ నాకు సురేంద్ర లెఫ్ట్ అని వచ్చింది. ఓకే ఓకే, ఇదనమాట కమాండ్ లైన్ ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్. డ్యూరింగ్ ద ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు గివ్ ద వాల్యూస్ జావా అండ్ array of 30. So 900 we have given the value. I mean, like this we can get it. And sir, what about this one and all? So if we give some other value, so here it's going to store array of 0, array of 2, like this it's going to store array of 2. The second value is going to be stored as array of 2, array of 2 value. Just for the timing I'm just putting that value also. Okay, anyway, I'm putting here, and array of 1. So like this we can extend it. So I'm giving it. Okay, there is 12.
మరి ఇది ఇంటీజర్ n ఈక్వల్ టు ఇంటీజర్ పార్స్ ఇంటూ ఆర్గ్ ఆఫ్ 1 అని రాయట్లేదు కదా.
అది ఎందుకంటే అది ఏంటంటే క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ చేయాలి కాబట్టి నేను ఇంటీజర్ ఫార్మాట్ లో మార్చుకున్నాను. ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు జస్ట్ ప్రింట్ ఇట్ అవుట్, ఐ నీడ్ నాట్ టు డూ దట్. అంటే స్ట్రింగ్ ని మనము క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ కి వాడుకోలేము అనమాట. వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ గాట్ స్ట్రింగ్, దట్ యూ కెనాట్ యూజ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఏ ఫర్ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ పర్పస్. ఓకే, లెట్ మీ షో యూ దట్. యా ఇంటీజర్ వాల్యూ అయితేనే మల్టిప్లికేషన్. ఓకే, చూపిస్తాను అది కూడా.
నేను అనేది ఏంటంటే ఉత్తి 0నే కన్వర్ట్ అయిద్దాము కదా, 1 కూడా మార్చుకోవాలంటే మళ్ళీ రాయాలా ఇంకోటి?
అవునవును, అంతే అంతే అంతే, కరెక్ట్. దిస్ ఐఎమ్ డూయింగ్ ఇట్. So it is saying that bad operand types for the binary. You cannot do like this. It is saying that. Because it is a string type, I am trying to do multiplication. That is the bad operand has been operand types for the binary operations. So like this it is happening here. So that is the reason I am converting here, and I am trying to print out this value also. Why it is not printing? Let me see. Only I am seeing this value. I should get print out this value also. 2 values are there. Printed out. I'm doing here argument 1 and argument 2 multiplication. Okay, let's see first as this one only. N into n, I'm doing it. 12, 13 has been it, and 12 into 12, 414 has been it. And like this, we can give number of arguments also. Okay, like this, at a time we can give number of arguments also. This is called command line arguments. So this 12 is going to load into the argument of 0, and the next one is going to store as the argument of 2, argument of 3, like this is going to get stored. And you have learned about single dimension array. You have learned about single dimension array. Now we are also going to learn about double dimension array. And here for defining the single double dimension array, you are going to define like integer a of number of columns you are going to define. So you come across matrix, right, in the mathematics. Yeah, like this we are going to define here how many rows we required, how many columns are required, like this. I want to 2 rows and to go 2 columns. When you are learning C language, you might have learning this and all. Okay, in Java language, we may not using such a frequently for arrays, but other C language and C++ we will be using much more. So the first index is going to be refer as the first index is going to refer as the number of rows, and the second index is going to show as a number of columns. Okay, like this we are going to define, and in the same way how to define double dimension arrays. How to define double dimension, you have learned about how to define a single dimension array, and the same way how to define a double dimension array. If it is a 2 rows and 2 columns, we need to 2 rows and 2 columns means we need to define like this. This A of 2 is equal to 2 rows, 2 columns. Like this we are going to see. This is 1 row. It is going to treat as 1 row, and this is 1 row. 2 rows, and it's going to define. Suppose if it is a 3 rows and 2 rows, if it is a 3 rows and 2 rows, if it is 3 rows and 3 rows, like this, three rows and three columns. We're going to define it. Okay, sir, how to access that variable? How to access one specific variable? If I wanted to access one specific variable, I am going to give like this: b of 0. If I give b of 0, b of 1 means b of 0 and b of 1. If I give, okay, first row and first column is going to be fixed out. First row and first column is going to fix out. This is again, this is the row and this is a column. Okay, so it is a first row, first column is 2 is going to get printed out. The same mathematics, man. I mean, when you are learning about mathematics, like C language and matrix and all, will be defining it, right? We'll be writing like this. Like this, we are going to define arrays and all. Now, let me go back to wrapper classes. Okay, one second. Okay, like this, we are going to now we have learned about the single dimensional array and double dimensional array. You have learned that. Let me go back to the wrapper classes. What are the wrapper classes we have? How to get it implemented of the wrapper classes? Okay, the wrapper class basically you are going to explore the what are the classes we have, what are the methods we have it and all. We are going to explore it. These are the 1 second, Surendra. Uh, okay, there are some wrapper classes. So sorry, Surendra. Normally, I will not pick up the phone, so it is urgent call, so I picked up the call.
Okay, no problem.
It is my my daughter's school. The call from daughter's school. Okay, okay. We do have Boolean methods and all different methods are there. These and all different data types we have Boolean data types. So, okay, Boolean values also is going to be stored as a integer format initially. Even though true and false also there, it's going to be in what you call data format. So Boolean. So different data types, integers, Boolean. Like this, we have different data types.
Exactly, అంతా గాలిపోవాల్సిన వస్తుంది.
Sorry?
హలో
Hello?
అన్న.
So like this, we have created one data type. So these data types we can, I mean, this object 10 is going to be act as an object. It is not going to be act as a primitive data types. Okay. Primitive data types since last, I already shown you that we have different data types. I mean, like we have integer, float, like this, we have different data types. That is one kind of, this is one kind of primitive data type. Out data println. Okay, here I can convert the value integer. Sir, what is why it is nakem problem? If it is 10 is stored as integer or it is primitive address, who bothers to me like this? You may think that. Okay, if 10 is stored as an integer or an object, I don't care about this and all. You may think that. Okay, but logically, when you are storing object into the system, that time we need to know what kind of format it is storing in the heap memory, whether it is storing as a heap object type or it is storing as a primitive data types like this. We need to know. Okay, for this we got this. We have created this as a object data types. Now I am converting this object into different types. I can apply different methods. Okay, like this we can apply different methods. One second, sir. Next topic I am going to tell about. Next topic tomorrow I'll be taking.
హలో
Yeah, yeah.
అది
Before explaining, let me take other way. So I was telling about we need to know whether the any variable, whether it is an object type or normal type, we need to know like that. I have told you that. Okay, what is the reason we are trying to prove here? Suppose I do create one variable integer x is equal to 5 like this. I have defined that is a primitive types, and now I am trying to increase like this. S is equal to s plus 5 like this. S is equal to s plus 5 like this. I am trying to increase it. So normally it will not get increased in the old data type. Now it is happening. Now we are using latest version. That is the reason it is applying the auto boxing concept internally. It is applying auto box concept internally. That is the reason it is getting increasing it. Where is the class? So like this, internally it is going to add auto boxing and the boxing concept. Hence that for the reason we were able to add that. We are able to increase the values. Normally we cannot change the values and all. Okay, now there are some different data and different wrapper classes are there. Based on that, we need to start using that. We'll cover these wrapper classes in one, one half an hour session. And what are the wrapper classes we have? What are the things and that? And when you got the free time, try to see LAN package. What are the LAN package methods and all? What are the LAN package methods we have come across here? Try to see. Okay, I'm sending this. Uh, you are saying that you are not able to get it, right? Let me
Yeah.
send. Yeah, you can note it down. I am keeping here. You can note it down. That's it. And next, I am going to cover about exception handling. Try catch mechanism, exception handling. Okay, what is the use of exception handling? Please write down. I'll give 1 minute break. Please write down that URL.
Okay.
Okay, now we are going to see about exception handling. What is exception handling? We'll see it about. Suppose why in normal life also we'll have some exception handling. Normal life also will have some exception handling. So what is exception handling? You are doing something in your project work, or when you are doing something, that time you'll write some exception handling without knowing the concept. It's not about writing. You will implement that technique, saying that you are saying that your friend to come your home. You are going to tell him if he is found that, and if he found that if any school in that route, he has to call you like this. Okay, and if he did not find that school, actually what is the scenario is that one of your friend is trying to come to your home. One of your friend is trying to come to your home. One of your friend is trying to come to your school, your home. You are telling him Okay, boss, my address is third left, fourth right, and sixth left. Then you will find one temple. If you do not find the temple, you need to call. Please call me so that I can guide that address and all. That is the exception. I can say that. So whatever you are saying that boss, if you do not find, raise a concern like this. You are going to say that. And the same way in Java also, we are going to implement some try-catch mechanism blocks. Some try-catch mechanism blocks, we are going to write it. And how the structure is like this. Try will be there, and further catch will be there, further catch will be there, and respective code will be there, and further finally will be there. Finally also will be there. Try, catch, finally also will be there like this. Here, all here in the try block, we are going to keep a suspecting code. In the try block, you are going to keep you are going to keep you are going to keep suspecting block code, suspecting code. So what is that? Wherever you are thinking that this code may raise concern, may files any exception like this, then you are going to keep those statements in this try block. So in the try block, the architecture is try block architecture is the try will be there, and the catch will be there, and finally is there. In the try block, you are going to write number of statements. Well, like what are the code is there, right? That code you will write it here. Like this you are there, and here some exception has happened. What need to be happen and all you are keeping here. uh, Catch block will be there you are going to write exception. If exception has happened in the try block, how to handle that, this catch block is going to help us to handle that exception. And now we are going. Let me take a small example. Based on that, I'll prove. I am going to tell different causes how we are going to handle the exception, how to write our own customized exception. If exception handling, how we can debug the issue. All the things I am going to cover now. Let me write a small exception class. Are you okay? Are you able to follow me? Hello? Yeah. Are you able to follow me? అర్థమవుతుందా అన్న?
అర్థమవుతుంది.
ఓకే. Okay. You are doing like 10 by 0, you are doing it. In your calculation, 10 by 2, you are doing it. So, so what is going to happen? You did calculation like this, and you wanted to do 10 by 0 and keep that value into one variable. Okay, you are doing that. You are doing compilation and all. it did a compile. Automatically this guy is going to compile it. So I am not doing compile. I am running the program. I'm running the program. I did compile. So it is saying it is given some exception in the program. So you and me, thread, we can understand what is this and all. Exception in thread main java.lang.arithmetic exception by 0. Like this, you and me can understand. Suppose suppose you are accessing an application you are accessing. Yahoo.com you are accessing or Facebook.com you are accessing. Suddenly their servers are went down and they are displaying that server not found exceptions. Server not exceptions or 105 exceptions they are showing that. If any user they said read that they cannot understand that. Instead of that, if they display like this convenient messages to everyone saying that our server went down, sorry for inconvenience, regarding you. Next 30 minutes the server will get on. Next 30 minutes server will be up and running like this. You can mention. That is going to be useful, right? In the first case, you are throwing without a meaningful information. First case is being displayed to the user, saying that server not found, server exceptions is going there. That is servlet related exceptions. That is one first case. Second case, what I am saying that instead of showing that server exception, go and show simple message saying that our servers are in maintenance. Now the server is application is not available. Do you support for the first or second?
Second means users
Yeah.
can able to understand.
Yeah, users can understand. The same way, when I am doing this 10 by 0, I am getting this some arithmetic exception or something like this. So, any of the programmers or support persons, what happened when we developed a project, we do develop, developers are going to develop project and they are going to keep in the production environment. In the production environment, they will keep support persons to monitor and de support this application. Okay. Okay, then they should keep right message and meaningful message so that everyone can understand. So now I'm going to tell that it's not about the messages. If something goes wrong, what are the operations I need to take care and all, I need to plan it. Those cases, this try and catch mechanism is going to help us. Sir, just for messages, I can show something. Why I need to do like this? You may ask me that such kind of questions. Yes, I do agree that. Okay, what happened? One you went to the bank, ATM bank. You went to ATM and you are trying to withdraw the amount from ATM. You went to bank and you are trying to withdraw the amount. When you are withdrawing the amount, when you withdraw the amount, they do write this kind of program in the background. Amount will be there. Basically, they said balance will be there. Okay, balance amount will be there. From balance amount, they will do like this. Calculation is there. Balance will be there, and for balance, balance minus amount which you have entered, they are going to do that calculation, and they are going to be after subtracting, they are going to give this value into the
Remaining
database and
balance.
value into database. Okay. Okay, they are going to keep in this one. When they are doing subtraction this amount, okay, when they are doing subtraction amount, some suddenly there was a failure, system failure. So how to handle those kind of exceptions? All the things we are going to show that. And suppose when you are withdrawing the amount, you are having balance and your amount, you have a balance of 500 rupees, but you are trying to withdraw 1000 rupees. You are trying to withdraw the amount. When you are trying to withdraw the amount, 1000 rupees, they should show some message pass insufficient funds like
You are
that. They need to,
withdrawing more than the credit.
yeah, insufficient funds like that. They need to show, no? So the same way I'm writing here in the try catch mechanism, what are the things we need to write? I'm writing here. So all the things, if you handle such kind of things, whatever you thought, right? Insufficient funds
అయితే
and all.
ఎక్సెప్షన్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ అన్నది
Yeah.
అంతా ఇలాంటి సిచ్యువేషన్ లో యూజ్ అవుతుంది.
Yes, 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 very good. So now, in earlier case, I do display Java.lang dot arithmetic exception you have displayed, and now in this case you are trying to you are trying to display of this value here. So now you are displaying this value system dot out dot println. So you can display what are the message you want. Okay, it is not possible. It's not possible to display. It is not possible to divide. Okay, now it is happening here. 10 by 0 is there. Now it is saying that a meaningful message saying that it is not possible to display and all. So like this, we have something and all. This is one example. I will slowly tell you that what are the situation we have. What is exception? I was saying that exception. If something is exception has happened. Okay, this try and catch mechanism works. If any exception here 10 by 100 by 0 you are doing. Okay, there is exception here. That exception is throwing exception. This guy is going to throw as an exception that is being here catched here, and you are printing this here. You are printing that value here. What is exception? Exception is nothing but it is the abnormal condition in the program execution is called as a exception. Exception is nothing but it is an abnormal condition in the program execution is called as an exception. So it is abnormal condition. 10 by 0 is abnormal condition. So I am going to throw this exception. I have thrown this exception. Okay. Now,
దట్ మీన్స్ కాంట్ ఏబుల్ టు రన్.
sorry, it ran this, but what happened?
అదే అదే ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏదైనా ప్రోగ్రామ్ రన్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఓకే కాంట్ ఏబుల్ టు గెట్ అవుట్పుట్.
Yeah, actually, it is logically 10 by 0 is not, it cannot perform. Java cannot, because it gets infinity value, right?
అలా
Infinity
ఏదైనా
value. So, infinity value it is not able to store. That is the reason it is doing that operations.
ఓకే ఏదైనా
Okay.
ఇప్పుడు అంటే అలాంటి సిచ్యువేషన్ లో వచ్చినప్పుడు దానికి ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ క్యాచ్ లో రాస్తాం మనం.
Yeah, exception వచ్చినప్పుడు the relevant exception మనం catch లో రాస్తాం అన్నమాట.
ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఎక్సెప్షన్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ అనేది అంటే ప్రతి ప్రోగ్రామ్ అంటే ప్రతి అప్లికేషన్ డెవలప్ చేసేటప్పుడు అంటే పాసిబిలిటీస్ ఏమైనా రాస్తామా పక్కన లేకపోతే ఎలా?
పాసిబిలిటీస్ గెస్ చేసి ఏ కేసులో మనకి ఎక్సెప్షన్ రాయాలి అని చూసేసి మనం రాస్తాం. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏంటంటే మీ ఫ్రెండ్ మీ ఇంటికి రమ్మన్నావు, వచ్చేటప్పుడు వాడికి ఎక్కడెక్కడ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వస్తాయో నువ్వే ముందర గెస్ చేసి నువ్వు వాడికి చెప్తావు. అసలు ఏమంటావంటే యూ విల్ టెల్ దమ్ వన్స్ యూ కమ్ టు ద థర్డ్ రైట్ యూ విల్ గెట్ కన్ఫ్యూజన్ వెదర్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు గో రైట్ అండ్ లెఫ్ట్, then you have to come like this. And the same way, and you are doing this
అదే
management.
లేకపోతే
Okay, now let me keep aside of your friend example. Okay, the
అంటే
example,
లేకపోతే అప్లికేషన్
yeah, the
యూజర్ సెట్
example
అయినా
is
కానీ
there.
అప్లికేషన్
Sorry,
అదే లేకపోతే ఇప్పుడు అప్లికేషన్ యూజర్స్ ఎప్పుడన్నా ఎక్కువైనా కానీ ఒకసారి డౌన్ అయినా
Yeah.
కానీ
Yes, yes.
అలాంటి సిచ్యువేషన్స్ లో ఒకవేళ
Yeah, yeah,
ఈ
yeah.
అకౌంట్
One more example. Yeah, one more example. You have a bank account. You have bank balance. You have bank balance. Okay. What are the exceptions you may users can face it? What are the exceptions users can face? I am saying that exception number one. Users may request more than users. Users may request more than requested amount. And next one. Users may request more than requested amount. Next, what else is there? Users may try simultaneously from different platforms simultaneously from different locations. What I mean to say, you have given your ATM card to your friend saying that withdraw the amount from ATM. Same time you are trying to transfer the amount over the web, thinking that when the request gone to the database, suppose both of you and your friend went to the same time to do the hit operation. So if basically it has to do balancing and subtraction, if it is switched out the balance value, then you can get the both elements like this. You thought that, okay. If the, or else if you do not thought like this, okay, simple case, you have given your ATM card to your friend saying that withdraw the amount, and you are same time on trying to transfer the amount to some other friend. They need to restrict at a time one operations on one account, right? Because otherwise there will be chances of some mistakes may happen. Okay, those things and all you are doing here, multiplication and all. What else will be there? Requirement, I mean, what are the exceptions will be there? One more exception is there. I can say that what else will be there? I can say that one second. I can say that minimum balance is not there. Minimum balance is not there. If minimum balance is not there, then I had ఏంటమ్మా Okay, it came. Okay, now we can do like this operations in this Java program. Different exceptions we can write it. Okay, one by one exception, so we can sort it out. And when I was talking about a bank example, when I was talking about the bank example, okay, forget about bank account. If I wanted to, something happen in my system, was something happen in my system. This is not working, and this notepad is not working. So I wanted to restart the notepad. I wanted to restart the entire application. What I'll do, I'll take one by one application. I am talking about a simple, smoother way restart. So instead of directly going and clicking on the power button, what I do, I will close this all the connections and all right. I will close this MS Paint. I will close this all the things and all, so that more things will happen in that. The same way when you are closing database and all, okay. In the same way, in when you are developing the program, when you develop the program, okay, you need to establish the database connections. Sometimes when you are closing the program, you need to close the database connections also. Okay, what I meant to say, when you are doing that bank example, to fetch the data, when to fetch the bank details, you need to connect to the database. From there, you are going to get the data and you are going to do some adding or subtraction. They are going to do that. When your program is completed, you need to close the connections, right? So all the connections, closing all the things, we are going to write in the finally black. Okay, you need to write all the things in this. Okay, we are going to write in the all the things we are going to write in the what you call in the connection block, in the try catch mechanism. We are going to write it in this very called try catch functionality in the final block. We are going to write it. So basically, catch block is going to help us. Some exception has been raised in the try catch. This catch try block is going to help us in the try class. This is where we are going to keep all the code in the try block. If some exception is happened, I am going to keep it here. And finally, something you wanted to close database connections or something. Finally, block I am going to use some database connections or something. If you wanted to use, I'm going to use in the finally block. Tomorrow class, I'm going to give some examples on finally I'm exception handling.